My name is Mickey Castor, and I'm the president of the Hillsborough County League of Women Voters.
All right, if you could just tell our listeners then what happened in the legislative session that just finished with the election bill. What's in that bill?
Okay, HB or House Bill 1355 has draconian measures that are entirely unnecessary. It is a voter suppression bill that is intended to address a problem that doesn't exist. To be specific, to begin with the voter registration process, there have been what's called third-party registrars, groups like the League of Women Voters, like church groups, Boy Scouts, high school clubs that are doing it as a service project as kids turn 18 in schools. And we have had great flexibility. We take stacks of voter registration forms, we distribute them to people. Sometimes people don't want to fill them out. They're in a hurry or they want to think about it, and so they take it home. We know that they may or may not send them in, but this is all within the control of the voter or the potential voter. What the new law does is require all of us who are volunteers, who want to go out to USF or out to the neighborhood store or wherever we want to go, and we have to go down to the supervisor elections office, fill out a lot of paperwork with a lot of personal information that in effect deputizes us, and then we have 48 hours to turn in any voter registration forms that we collect. And if we do not, there is a penalty of $50 per registration form, or a cumulative of $1,000, up to $1,000, and the Attorney General has the potential to bring civil citations against us. So that this caused the League of Women Voters of Florida, our statewide organization, very reluctantly. We've been an organization since 1939, and in those 72 years we have always registered voters. And very reluctantly decided that we could not put our members and the organization in that position. It was just too potentially burdensome. And so the decision was made and was announced yesterday that if the governor signs the bill, we still hope that he won't, but if he signs the bill and it goes into effect, then we will not register voters until something changes. So that's one part that is a major disappointment to the League and to all people who care about good government. We are a democracy. We want people to participate. We want to make that as broad as possible. And we don't care what party they are. A lot of folks fill it out, don't fill out any party. Signing up people, registering people to vote is not a partisan activity. It is a good government activity, and that's what the League is all about. So that's one part.
There's also a component that has to do with whether people can change their names at the polling location. Tell us about that.
That's correct. For the last 40 years, the law has been in effect that if someone has moved since they registered, and changing your registration card may not be the top of your list when you are moving. And so when they have moved, they have to let the supervisor of elections know the new address, or a woman marries and her name changes, and the name is not the same. So the way the law works now, if you go and the identification that you present to the poll worker does not match what they have in their books, then they have the option of correcting it to the current address, correcting their books to the current address and letting the individual on the spot. That's the beauty of computerized databases, which we have had since 2006 in the state of Florida, so that that database can be easily changed, and then it matches the ID that the voter has, and the database is now accurate, and they cast a regular ballot. So in searching to fix a problem that doesn't exist, or voter fraud, they now say if your ID does not match what is in the elections database, you can only cast a provisional ballot. And then on a case-by-case basis, they'll decide whether the canvassing board in the supervisor of elections office, after the election, they will decide whether to count that ballot or not. And so in the past, a high percentage, close to half, of provisional ballots have been thrown out, so that this means that there's a lot of potential for people who take the time to go and vote and may have their, and they are perfectly legitimate voting residents of the county, and have their votes thrown out. We do not think that that is good government.
There's also a less number of days that people can early vote. Is that a problem that people were clamoring for? Give us less early voting?
No. Early voting has been a great success. We have almost half in the last election were cast either by early voting or by vote by mail. And so, because now there are no restrictions on voting by mail. So, we have our election day in the middle of the week. That means that lots of folks have trouble getting to the polls. And so it is a convenience. It is an encouragement for more citizen participation in government, which legislators should be all about. And certainly the League of Women Voters wants to encourage qualified voters. We would never support anything that approach fraud, but these are qualified voters who, for whatever reason in their personal lives, have a problem with getting to the polls between 7 and 7 on a Tuesday. And so early voting lets them go to any, in Hillsborough County, we have all the libraries and the main government offices, and people can go there on the weekend, and it makes it more likely for them to participate in their government. And to cut it in half, again, is a voter suppression action and not a voter encouragement action, which we believe our elected officials should be encouraging.
Are there any other parts of the bill that we should know about, and what is the League's position on whether Governor Scott should sign it?
Oh, we definitely encourage Governor Scott to veto it in the interest of encouraging participation of citizens in government. His spokesman this morning was quoted as saying that he wants to encourage such participation. He also was concerned about fraud, so I don't know which side of that he's going to come down on. But we certainly would encourage him to not to sign the bill, because, again, it suppresses voting, and it sets out to solve a problem that does not exist.